guys, this is Master McKinney from MT Performance. Today we're going to cover the topic breathing. So we're finding ourselves in a situation where we all have to wear a mask now. And it's like nobody's talking about the harmful effect of inhaling our own carbon dioxide for longer periods of time. So let's talk a little about that. A respiration cycle is the process of inhalation of oxygen into our body as fuel to our system and the exhalation of CO2 as a cellular waste product. So a respiration cycle out of balance, even if it's too much oxygen or too much CO2, this can be harmful for our system. Breathing is a very suppressed and undiscovered field today. Yet it's an utterly essential capability and a very basic one for human beings that we have been manipulating or trying to since the beginning of time. And it seems like that our ancestors knew way more about breathing than we know today, just like everything else. So which muscles are responsible for improving our athletic performance, our longevity, etc. when it comes to breathing? We have three main muscles here. We have the pectoralis minor. So what this does is that when we inhale oxygen, this contracts to pull up our ribs. Then we have maybe the most important one, which is our diaphragm. We have talked a lot about this before, of the shape of an umbrella that is placed below our ribs. When this contracts, when we inhale air, this is expanding to expand our thoracic cavity and really increase the amount of oxygen contained in our body. And when we are exhaling, for instance, the abdominals, they will contract to depress our lower ribs. So we have a lot of core muscles here on our ribcage, which is all serving each purpose when it comes to our respiratory muscle system. So before we do anything else, it would be a good idea to apply massage or to try and release these areas if you will find maybe some restrictions here. In order for us to release any possible restrictions in this area of the pectoralis minor, we can apply pressure or do the so-called self-massage with a lacrosse ball. So what we do here is you find this small area of tissues next to your deltoid muscles, not the big area of our pectoralis, but the minor area up here. And then you place the lacrosse ball, find some sort of a wall or a pole or anything like that you can lean yourself up upon. You place the ball, use your lower body to apply pressure here. And then you gently and slowly just roll around. Or maybe if you find a very specific spot, you can stay on this spot and apply static pressure. So what we mainly want to do is find this like a centimeter spot and then gently roll over it with as much pressure as possible. The more pain here, the longer you would want to stay in this area. So like I told you, if you find this little spot of extreme soreness, it's okay sometimes to stay statically on the area to release it easier before applying a dynamic pressure. So the next area we will find below our rib cage. So it's important that you sit in a comfortable position in order for your abdominals, the superficial layer, to relax as much as possible because you want to dig beneath this layer. Also we have the bone layer of your ribs. This is underneath this layer of bones that you will find your diaphragm. So you want to have a very flexible, a very loose and free of this restriction diaphragm in here. And really you will find out how flexible your diaphragm is, really to try and get as much of your fingers below your ribs as possible. Of course, be careful that you don't pull in your ribs. So just gently, again, either statically or dynamically, press your fingers up underneath your rib cage. Feel this diaphragm. For example, you can try to exhale. You can feel your rib cage depressing right now, and if you try to inhale, you can feel this thoracic cavity expanding. So this is why compression or decompression of this torso area is so utterly important. The more compressed we are here, either laterally or vertically, the less space we have below our ribs for our diaphragm to move. And our diaphragm is responsible for the functionality of our lungs. So in the end, the more compressed you are, the more inhibited you are in your ability to uptake oxygen. So a corrective exercise here that you can do, if you find yourself a kettlebell, doesn't matter the size, really maybe not too heavy, then you lay down flat on the ground and really flex your knees and place your feet in the ground so you're able to flatten out your lumbar spine here. Then you place your kettlebell on the abdominals in order for the stomach to retract and really inhibit the ability to breathe through your abdominals. So what we need to do here is fill up your ribcage area with as much oxygen as possible and really make sure that you don't go below your ribcage down to the abdominals here. One more time. So really what we are exercising here is the ability to breathe freely into your diaphragm area. Really to try to expand this thoracic cavity as much as possible without going too much into our abdominals, which is also beneficial for your sports performance. Breathing freely throughout the whole body is most beneficial in general, but when you want to improve your athletic performance, it's best to be able to keep a tense core. Don't breathe into your abdominals and stay up in this area for your rotational strength, etc. So this next corrective is more of a resistance variation for your ribcage area. So this is like applying load to your body with dumbbells or barbells. You're really just making resistance on the ribcage here. So there's some sort of load on your ribcage when it needs to expand to open up your diaphragm. So we're laying down here. However you do this version really doesn't matter. You just need some lateral resistance, and by using bands, it's a good version here. Lay down once again flat on the ground. Place your feet in the ground. Make sure that both ends of the band is placed on each side of the rib cage. And then you really just do the same here. Relax your upper body and try and expand your rib cage area. So pretty simple once again. What we are doing here is to try and get as much oxygen in as possible whenever you are doing your inhalation. And this is the functionality of the ribs, it's nothing else. The functionality of the ribs will make you decompress your body more and in the end make you be able to uptake more oxygen into your body.